This is Dr. Paul Cleveland with Boundary Stone. We're here to help you navigate your way through a very confusing world. Are you confused about the social justice movement? I mean, it seems like there are social justice warriors all over the place, and they're going to make this world a socially just place, and they're going to use government to do so. And they think it's a crime that people should make money and keep it, evidently. And so I think that the social justice movement in reality is not social and it's not really just. Let's talk about this for a moment. I mean, what's the underlying motivation? Aren't they really saying that we ought to be charitable to other people? Well, there's some truth to that. After all, if you're a Christian, the Christian position has always been that God would ask you to show charity. And why would you do that? Well, the Bible is all about Jesus Christ. And Jesus, God's only Son, becomes a man, lives on this earth, and lives the life of perfect righteousness that you and I are so incapable of doing. And then he willingly, voluntarily, of his own volition, goes and pays the penalty for sin. In other words, because we've acted unjustly relative to one another and we're deserving of punishment by a just judge, Christ took it on himself. So here he lives the life of perfection, but is willing to pay the price for our imperfection. Now think about that for a moment. In this case, he's being merciful, he's being kind, he's being compassionate. He's providing righteousness for you and I, which we couldn't provide for ourselves. And since he's done that, he can give that. He can choose to be merciful to whomever he wishes because he earned it. And so charity, true charity is always that. It's voluntary sacrifice motivated by love. And so as a Christian, if I understand that, then I would want to participate in the same kind of charity as an acknowledgement of the kind of charity that God has shown me. Well, that's charity. Now the question then is, can charity be forced? I would say it ceases to be charity. If we could pass a law saying, well, you're just not charitable enough, and so therefore we're going to forcibly take income, money out of your pocket, and we're going to give it to somebody else because that's social and that's just. Well, now, what's left of my definition of charity? Doesn't it become involuntary sacrifice motivated by fear? Now, when I involuntarily sacrifice because I'm afraid for my life, I don't call that charity. I call it, I'm a victim of theft. And what's worse in this case is that the government has done it. The very institution that's to punish those who do wrong has now committed wrong. I mean, ask yourself the question, what makes it right for government to engage in activities that would be totally immoral and unjust for you to commit? And likewise, just because you did it with a group of others wouldn't make it right. That cannot work that way. And so the reality is that, as Frederick Bastiat said in his little essay, The Law in the 19th century, middle of the 19th century, what we have here is a case of legalized plunder. When government is redistributing income that's rightfully earned by people and giving that to whomever they wish, what they're really participating in is illegitimate use of collective force. And Bastiat referred to it as just legalized theft. So in that case, that's going to create problems for us. I mean, if I look at the commandments, the 10 commandments, the 8th commandments, thou shalt not steal, it's not thou shalt not steal except by 51% vote. And so we have a real problem that democracy in America does not guarantee justice. As a matter of fact, as one professor put it, democracy is 2 wolves and 1 sheep trying to decide what to have for lunch. Well, I hope that helps to clarify some things for you. As I said, Dr. Paul Cleveland with Boundary Stone, and we're helping you navigate through a very confusing world. See you next week. By the way, check out our website, boundarystone.org, for more information, resources to help you do this. Bye.